Hey everybody, and welcome to a new project in advanced weather charting using Google Sheets. So this will be somewhat familiar if you took ITECH 100 with me. Uh, we used a limited data set that I got from Weather Underground that I think just had daily data for an entire year. I think it was like 2014 or 15 or something like that I used. This time we're going to do something a little different. We're going to use data that we actually gathered from our weather station on campus, and it is currently running. I have a link here for you to look at if you're interested. You can see the current weather around the campus. You can download, and actually we have a pro feature where you can download at 1 minute granularity or any kind of data granularity you want. You can download the entire data set for the whole year, or for just a particular range of like a month or a couple of days or a day or whatever. Any time period that you want, down to you can take it units of a day and then break it up into units as small as 1 minute, which is pretty cool. And not and it's something we've been doing for a while now, so we actually have quite a bit of data that you could get. You could get multiple years worth of data if you wanted to. The data set we're using is basically the entire, I think broken down to an hour for the year of 2019 on campus. And it is in a CSV format. I'll show you what this looks like. So here's what the file looks like. The actual file is, if you download it, you don't have to do this, and I highly suggest you do not do this. Oh, I downloaded it twice now. Show in folder. I'm going to open it in a text editor. Here it is. So here's my text editor. Basically, what it is it's just the values from each of those cells separated by commas. That's it. So the first row, or the first line of text, is just all of the headings in quotation marks and separated by commas, and the rest of them are the actual numbers. And so that's all it is. It's commas. It's a CSV file, comma separated values. So it's just a text file. And this is a very common way to share large data sets that you will then want to load up into some other program for parsing and then analysis. So that is that's go away. Okay, there we go. So what we want to do is open it with Google Sheets. So you click Open with Google Sheets, and you will want to move it to somewhere else. So what this will do is it'll actually create a copy of the CSV file in your Google Drive. So it's no longer a CSV file. It's really nice that Google Sheets does this for you automatically. It's a very, very handy feature. So I'm going to show you some kind of advanced features, some advanced ways of creating charts. Let's see, I'm going to move this to another folder here. I'm going to go back to, my drive, ITECH 150. Yeah, move here. Okay, so I have the file. It's already it's already moved, and I'm ready to rock and roll. So I'm going to show you some things. You can just do stuff like one thing that I want you to be aware of is that Google Sheets isn't necessarily going to treat the data correctly. One thing you can do is tell it that column 1 is a date and time. So you go down to date, time. So go to Format, Number. So select column A, go to Format, go to Number, and then select date and time. And then it'll kind of tell Sheets this data is supposed to be, but it's still not really going to interpret it completely correctly. So let's take like the first day's worth of timestamps, and then let's do the station voltage. So I'll hold down the Control key, and then once again select the first 24 hours worth of data. There's 9,500 lines of data here. I can show you the bottom here in just a second, but let's go ahead and insert this chart by using the chart tool. But its auto chart is going to be not that super useful. So I'm going to move this over here. It thinks that the timestamp isn't a timestamp, but just another data series. So we need to get rid of that by saying, okay, we're going to use column A, the timestamp, as our column labels. And then you'll see that they'll shift to the bottom, and then suddenly the data actually looks interesting. We'll use row 1 as headers. I don't think that changes much. Oh, yeah, it does. It changes this over here. So that suddenly makes more sense. So if I did stuff like add a legend or something, if I had more data, I would need a legend, or if I need a title, chart style. Oh, yeah, you can change the chart styles and colors and things like that too. This is actually pretty cool. Here we go. Chart title is going to be station charge hourly, something like that. Yeah, so that's basically what this chart is showing is how charged the battery is at any given time. So 9 o'clock is kind of maybe when the sun comes up in the month of January, right? Because it's dark all the freaking time. And then by 10 o'clock it's fully charged again, and it'll stay charged until the sun starts to go down, and then it'll start going down, and then once again it'll be almost done, and then boom, back up to the top. So it's a solar powered station. So that's just the sun charging it, basically. I'm going to actually have that be, say, centered. That looks nice. So one of the problems with this is you don't necessarily want these charts on your home page, on your main sheet. This should be just the data. So we have to do this a little differently. So we have to create a new sheet for our charts. We'll even rename it charts. And so what I'm going to show you, and I'm not going to show you like what you have, I'll show you what you have to do for the assignment at some point, but what you have to do to create charts on another sheet is you can't just build the chart here and then move it like you could with Excel. You actually have to create the chart on this sheet, and then it says no data. Okay, well that's cool. Well, here's what we're going to do. We're going to make this a line chart. And we're going to select our data range. So you hit this little thing here that says select data range, and then pop over to the other sheet. And then select column A, and then let's say column B for the average temperature. So we're going to select two columns of data using the control key, and click one, click the other one, and then hit OK. Boom. And then notice how it does this wrong. Again, it thinks that the timestamp is a data series, which it isn't. So we're going to say use row 1 as headers, which it already seems to have detected, and then use column A as labels, and then voila, we have our chart. And notice the data range here is still this gobbledygook here, but if you look at it closely, you can see this is the name of the other sheet with an exclamation mark. Whoops. Cancel. Anyway, we lost it. Okay. Bring up the chart editor. Okay, so add x-axis, add x-axis. We're going to select column A here. I messed it up because I deleted something and I created an error. There we go. We have our x-axis. We're going to make this a little bit bigger, and you'll notice that it kind of gives us our timestamps here. And it shows us our temperature throughout the day. It's obviously warmest here. This is in Fahrenheit. I was I was looking at it wrong. I thought I was just picking up a day's worth of data, and this is the whole year. So this is actually the summertime. That's why it's that high. This is the winter. This is January. This is December. Yeah. So I was just reading it wrong. I forgot that I took the whole column. Yeah. So that's on me. Okay. So yeah, and what I want you to do is make sure that you kind of like do the important stuff, like add a title. So this is average temp 2019. And then, maybe center it, make it look nice. And then you don't necessarily have to mess around with the style too much. All this nice stuff you can do. Plot null lines, I don't know what that means. Compare mode, I don't know. I don't know what some of these things do. And you don't need to. You don't necessarily need to know everything. But some stuff that you can play with. You could do a legend, but I don't think we need one for this particular data. You might if you had more than one thing. And to that end, this is what your job is for this project. You are going to build 5 charts. 5 charts on this second sheet, size them appropriately, and then do a thing like this. So move them, and then next to each chart, kind of make them underneath each other or something. Next to each chart, grab a block of cells, merge them, and then type in sort of an analysis of it. I think we can insert, yeah, so this is the average temperature throughout the year. Features that are interesting are the warmer temps in the summer and the cooler temps in winter and fall. Oh, you'll want to get the vertical alignment and turn on word wrap. There we go. Word wrap. Boom. There we go. So do something like this. So this is alignment. This is vertical alignment and word wrap, which allows you to write paragraphs in cells. So merge them together and then do like a little description or caption of your chart, kind of describing the data and why it's useful or interesting to look at. And you're going to do 5 of these with this data. And there's more than enough data to do that with. I highly recommend at least some of them using more than one. So again, the process looks like this. You insert a blank chart here. You grab some data from the other sheet from over here. Let's say I want all 3 of these. Boom, 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 boom. A through D. Okay, yep. And then hit OK. It's going to give me something really ridiculous because, again, it's going to assume that time is a data series, which it is not. It is our column labels. So we'll hit a check mark there. And then maybe change this. Nope, want that check mark. You may have some performance issues because it's a large data set, but it should work out. And then turn it into a line graph. And then, yeah, they kind of really overlap each other, don't they? That's pretty interesting. So you can do something like this. Maybe making this bigger will make it look cooler. You really make that yellow one kind of overcrowded. You can kind of see the low temp kind of poking out on the bottom, and the average is completely occluded by the yellow because it's on top. Maybe you guys can figure out a way to make that look nicer. But then, make sure see how it adds a legend. Make sure you add things like labels, titles, and things like that. Anything that seems appropriate. And I'm going to leave it up to you to decide what's appropriate. And yeah, just make 5 charts, and we'll kind of work through this together a little bit. So, if you find one, share if you find one you're not really sure if it's cool or not, you can always share your link with me via whatever messaging service you want, and we can troubleshoot it and see if there's some cooler way to present that data or make it look better or whatever. This is just me kind of working off the cuff on this data set. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions. This is how I kind of want it done. So you want to build we'll merge the cells. We'll make sure that it's vertically aligned, and we'll make sure that the text is wrapped so that we can type in this text box and make your little captions. Okay, sounds good. Good luck. Let me know if you have any questions.